Welcome to Sleep Stories. Tonight, the gates are closed. The alarms are silent. The cities are safe beneath a blanket of soft, silver moonlight. And far beyond the noise of the waking world, where the streets fade into quiet roads and the roads fade into forest paths, there is a place where even shadows are allowed to rest. So take a slow breath in and let it out gently. There is no battle waiting for you tonight. No dungeon, no monsters, no sudden footsteps in the dark. Only a calm path beneath the trees, the cool touch of night air, and the quiet presence of someone strong enough to protect the silence itself. If you enjoy calm stories like this, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with new videos. It helps the channel grow, and it helps me keep making stories that make falling asleep a little easier. Sung Jin-Woo walks ahead of you through the forest, not as a hunter preparing for battle, not as the shadow monarch standing before an army, but as a quiet guardian beneath the moon. His steps are slow, his expression is peaceful, his dark coat moves softly in the breeze, and behind him, the shadows that once crossed worlds and battlefields now follow without urgency. They do not march tonight, they wander, they listen, they breathe in the stillness, though many of them no longer need to breathe. Above, the moon hangs large and pale, pouring light through the high branches. The leaves glow at their edges. The moss along the path shines faintly, as if the stars themselves have fallen there to sleep. Jin-Woo pauses beside an old stone archway covered in vines. The archway stands alone in the middle of the forest, with no wall attached to it, no gate, and no lock. Beyond it, the trees grow taller and softer, their branches bending inward like hands folded in prayer. "This is the place," Jin-Woo says quietly. His voice is low, calm, and steady. This sanctuary was hidden long before the gates ever opened. No enemy can find it. No fear can enter it. Tonight, everyone rests. The shadows behind him stir gently, not with alarm, not with command, but with something new: curiosity. A tall knight in dark armor steps forward, the moonlight tracing silver lines along his helmet and shoulders. Igris lowers his head in a graceful bow. His sword is at his side, but it is not drawn. Tonight, it is only a symbol, not a weapon. Near him, Beru hovers with great effort to appear calm, his clawed hands folded tightly, his glowing eyes wide with emotion. "My liege," Beru whispers, though his whisper is still much louder than the wind. "Shall I inspect the area? Shall I eliminate every pebble that may inconvenience your rest?" Jin-Woo looks at him, and there is the faintest hint of a smile. "No eliminating pebbles tonight, Beru." Beru freezes, then very slowly he nods. "As you command, the pebbles shall live." A gentle warmth passes through the group, like the quiet feeling of almost laughing when you are too sleepy to make a sound. Behind them, Tank, the great shadow bear, sniffs the air. The scent of pine, clean water, and night flowers drifts through the archway. Tank gives a soft rumble of approval, then steps forward with heavy, careful paws. The ground does not shake beneath him. The sanctuary welcomes his weight. Jin-Woo passes through the archway first, and as he does, the world grows even quieter. The sounds of distant life fade behind you. The restless hum of cities, memories, worries, unfinished thoughts, all of it softens, as if someone has lowered the volume on the entire world. On the other side of the archway is a valley hidden beneath the moon. It is wide and peaceful, surrounded by tall trees with dark blue leaves. A clear stream winds through the center, reflecting the stars in tiny broken pieces. Smooth stones line the water's edge, rounded by time and touched by silver light. Small lanterns float in the air, not hanging from anything, each one glowing with a soft blue flame. They drift lazily between the trees, rising and falling like slow breaths. Flowers grow everywhere. Some are white as snow, some are pale violet, some glow faintly when the wind passes over them, and some, Jin-Woo notices, glow brightest whenever someone exhales. Hunter Cha is already waiting near the stream. She stands beneath a tree with low branches and pale blossoms, her light hair moving gently in the night breeze. Her sword is nowhere to be seen. Her posture is relaxed, her eyes calm. When she sees Jin-Woo, she smiles softly. "You found it," she says. Jin-Woo nods. "I thought everyone could use a quiet night." Hunter Cha looks past him at the shadows gathering beneath the trees. Her expression softens as she sees Igris standing still and respectful, Beru trying very hard not to make dramatic gestures, and Tank slowly lowering himself beside the stream. "I think they needed this more than they knew," she says. Jin-Woo looks at his army. For so long they had answered every call, every danger, every enemy, every impossible moment. They had risen from darkness without hesitation, each one ready to protect him, follow him, and fight beside him. But tonight, he does not call them to battle. Tonight, he offers them stillness. The shadow soldiers continue to enter the sanctuary, one by one, then by dozens, then by hundreds. Knights, mages, beasts, and silent warriors gather beneath the moon, filling the valley without disturbing its peace. They move quietly, almost carefully, as if afraid their strength might frighten the flowers. Jin-Woo steps onto a flat stone near the stream. His shadow stretches long behind him, deep and gentle. Everyone turns toward him. The sanctuary becomes still. Even the lanterns seem to pause in the air. Jin-Woo looks over his shadows, and his voice carries softly through the valley. "You have all followed me through endless battles. You have protected me, protected each other, and protected this world." A breeze moves through the trees. Leaves shimmer like dark glass. But tonight, there is no order to fight. There is no enemy. There is no gate. No one here has to be strong. The shadows do not move. Perhaps they do not know what to do with such a command. Jin-Woo continues, "Tonight you may rest." The words settle over the valley like a blanket. You may rest. For some, it is simple. For others, it is unfamiliar. For the Shadow Army, built from loyalty, strength, and endless readiness, rest feels almost like a forgotten language. Igris is the first to respond. He slowly lowers himself to one knee, not in battle preparation, but in acceptance. Then he rises and walks toward a grove of silver grass near the edge of the stream. He stands there for a moment, as if deciding whether it is truly allowed. Hunter Cha watches gently. Then she says, "Igris, you can sit down." The knight turns toward her. For a second he seems almost puzzled. Then, with great dignity, Igris sits beneath the tree. His armor folds carefully around him. His sword rests across his lap, still sheathed. His helmet tilts back just slightly toward the stars. It is not sleep yet, but it is a beginning. Beru sees this and reacts with immediate seriousness. If Sir Igris has accepted the sacred rest, then I too shall perform rest with perfect loyalty. He lowers himself to the ground far too dramatically, folding his limbs with great ceremony. Jin-Woo raises an eyebrow. Just relax, Beru. I am relaxing, my liege. You look like you're preparing for a royal inspection. Beru's glowing eyes shift. Is there not a royal inspection? No. Beru slowly loosens his posture. Then I shall relax less intensely. Hunter Cha laughs softly. It is a small sound, but in the quiet valley it feels like a bell made of warm light. Tank gives a deep, slow sigh by the stream. His enormous head rests on his paws. The water beside him moves gently, carrying moonlight along its surface. His breathing becomes a steady rhythm. In, out, in, out. The kind of rhythm that invites everything nearby to slow down. You find yourself walking with Jin-Woo and Hunter Cha along the stream. The grass is soft underfoot. The air is cool but not cold. Everywhere you look, the shadows are discovering rest in their own quiet ways. Some sit beneath trees. Some gather near the floating lanterns, watching the little blue flames drift above them. Some kneel beside the flowers that glow with each breath, gently exhaling just to see them brighten. A group of smaller shadow soldiers stand around one flower, taking turns breathing toward it. Each time it glows, they lean back in silent wonder. Beru notices and glides over. He studies the flower. Then he takes a large breath and exhales dramatically. The flower flashes bright blue. The smaller shadows stare. Beru folds his arms, clearly proud. Jin-Woo sighs, but he is smiling. Don't start a competition. Beru immediately turns away from the flower. Of course not, my liege. I would never compete with a flower. The flower glows again in the breeze. Beru glances back at it suspiciously. Hunter Cha walks beside Jin-Woo, her steps quiet. Do you ever rest? She asks him. Jin-Woo looks at the water. For a moment, he does not answer. The stream moves around smooth stones, murmuring softly, as though it is answering for him. I used to think I couldn't, he says at last. There was always something else, another fight, another person to protect, another threat I had to be ready for. And now? He looks across the valley. The Shadow Army, once a force that could shake the world, is sitting beneath moonlit trees like tired travelers at the end of a long road. Now I'm learning, he says. Hunter Cha nods. That's enough for tonight. They continue along the path. The stream bends toward a small clearing where a great ancient tree stands at the center. Its trunk is wide enough that several people could sit against it comfortably. Its bark is dark, almost black, but its leaves glow faintly with silver veins. At the base of the tree are soft blankets, woven from moonlight-colored fabric, and cushions filled with something lighter than feathers. No one seems to have placed them there. The sanctuary simply knew they were needed. Jin-Woo looks at them. Then he looks at Cha. Did you do this? She shakes her head. No, I think the sanctuary did. Beru appears instantly. My liege, I shall test the cushions for danger. Before Jin-Woo can answer, Beru presses one cautious hand into a cushion. It sinks softly beneath his palm. Beru becomes very still. Then he presses again. The cushion rises slowly back into shape. Beru whispers. It resists, gently. It's a cushion, Jin-Woo says. A powerful one. Tank lifts his head from the stream, sees the cushions, and slowly gets up. He walks over with immense seriousness, circles the largest blanket twice, then drops heavily onto it. The blanket somehow expands beneath him, perfectly sized. Tank exhales. The flowers around the clearing glow. That seems to decide things for everyone. One by one, shadows begin to settle around the ancient tree. Some sit with their backs against the trunk. Some lie in the grass. Some lean beside the smooth stones near the water. The floating lanterns drift lower, casting soft blue pools of light. Igris chooses a place beneath a branch where moonlight rests on his armor. His posture remains dignified, but his shoulders soften. Beru tries 3 different resting positions before settling near Jin-Woo, close enough to be useful if needed, but far enough not to hover. Hunter Cha sits beside the tree, folding her hands loosely in her lap. Jin-Woo remains standing for a little while. He watches, he listens, he lets the quiet become real. There are no screams, no monsters. No command windows glowing in the air, no urgent messages, no need to draw a blade from shadow, only the sounds of rest, the stream, the leaves, Tank's slow breathing, the soft hum of lanterns, the tiny chime of flowers glowing and dimming in the wind. Hunter Cha looks up at him. "Sit down, Jin-Woo." He looks at her. She pats the soft grass beside her. "You said everyone could rest." A pause. Then Jin-Woo sits. The moment he does, the sanctuary seems to become warmer. Not hot, just warm enough, as though the earth beneath him is holding the memory of sunlight from a peaceful afternoon. He leans back against the ancient tree. For once, there is nothing he needs to do. For once, the shadows do not wait for his command. They rest because he has allowed them to, and perhaps, somewhere deep inside, because he has allowed himself to. The moon rises higher. The valley becomes even softer. The blue lanterns begin to move in slow circles around the clearing, not quickly, not brightly, just a gentle turning like stars drifting through deep water. Hunter Cha closes her eyes. Igris lowers his head. Beru tries to keep both eyes open, then one eye open, then neither. His head dips forward. He jerks upright once, as if caught failing some sacred duty. Jin-Woo speaks without opening his eyes. "Sleep, Beru." "My liege, I was merely observing the inside of my eyelids." "Keep observing." Beru bows his head. "As you command." A few moments later, his breathing becomes soft and even. Not quite human, not quite ordinary, but peaceful. The shadow soldiers nearby relax more deeply after seeing him rest. Even Beru can sleep here. Even Igris can sit beneath the stars. Even Tank can dream beside the stream. Then surely the night is safe. Jin-Woo opens his eyes halfway. The listener, too, is invited to settle beneath the ancient tree. There is a place prepared just for you. A soft blanket, light as cloud. A cushion shaped perfectly for your head. The grass beneath you is cool and clean, and the air carries the scent of pine, water, and night flowers. Jin-Woo's voice reaches you gently. "You're safe here." No dramatic promise, no thunder, no command, just truth. You don't have to keep watch. You don't have to solve anything. You don't have to be ready for anything tonight. The stream carries his words away slowly. You can rest. The flowers glow with your next breath. In and out. The glow fades softly, again, in and out. The flower brightens, then dims. Like the world breathing with you, Hunter Cha opens her eyes and looks toward the sky. There are so many stars here, she says. Jin-Woo follows her gaze. Above the branches, the sky is deep and clear. The stars are not sharp or cold. They are gentle, like small lanterns placed far away by kind hands. There were nights, she continues softly, when I thought I would never be able to look at the sky without wondering what might fall from it. Jin-Woo understands. So many hunters had learned to look at empty space and imagine gates, cracks, portals, warnings. But tonight the sky is only sky. The stars are only stars. The moon is only the moon, and that is enough. Jin-Woo says, nothing will fall tonight. Hunter Cha smiles faintly. I know. Nearby, Igris shifts slightly. The movement is quiet, but Jin-Woo notices. He always notices. Igris has not fully slept. He sits with his head bowed, one hand resting on the hilt of his sheathed sword, loyal even in stillness. Jin-Woo watches him for a moment. Then he says, Igris. The knight lifts his head immediately. You don't have to guard me tonight. Igris remains still. Jin-Woo's voice softens. That's an order. For a long moment the knight does not move. Then, slowly, Igris removes his hand from the sword. He places both hands on his knees. His head lowers once more. This time, not in vigilance, in rest. It is a small change, but in the sanctuary, small changes matter. A tense shoulder softening, a clenched hand opening, a breath growing slower, a thought drifting away before it has time to become worry. These are the quiet victories of the night. Beru, who had been sleeping, suddenly murmurs, My liege, the cushions remain loyal. Jin-Woo looks at him. Hunter Cha covers a smile. Beru settles again. The lanterns continue their slow circles. The valley enters a deeper quiet. And in that quiet, the sanctuary begins to reveal more of itself. Beyond the ancient tree, a narrow path of silver stones appears, curving gently into a grove of pale blue trees. The stones glow one after another, not urging anyone forward, only offering the possibility of a slow walk. Jin-Woo opens his eyes. He does not know whether he has been sitting for minutes or hours. Time moves differently here. Softly, kindly, without pressure. Hunter Cha looks toward the path. Should we see where it goes? Jin-Woo nods. He stands slowly, careful not to disturb the sleeping shadows around him. Tank opens one eye, decides all is well, and closes it again. Igris remains seated. Beru makes a tiny sound, perhaps trying to volunteer in his sleep, but he does not wake. Jin-Woo and Hunter Cha walk together along the silver stones. You may follow them if you like, or you may simply imagine the path from where you rest, knowing you do not have to move at all. The grove ahead is quiet and luminous. The trees grow close together, their trunks smooth and dark, their leaves glowing faintly like glass, touched by moonlight. Between them hang long strands of silver moss, moving gently in the breeze. At the center of the grove is a small pond. Its surface is perfectly still, no ripples, no insects, no falling leaves. It reflects the sky so clearly that it looks like another night has opened beneath the earth. Hunter Cha kneels beside the water. It's beautiful. Jin-Woo stands beside her. In the reflection, he can see the stars, the moon, the trees, and the faint outline of his own shadow. But something else appears there too. Not danger, not memory exactly, more like the softened echo of all the roads that led him here. He sees himself as he once was. A weak hunter standing at the edge of fear, a brother, a son, a fighter who kept getting up because there was no other choice. Then the reflection changes. He sees the shadow army behind him in countless battles. Igris kneeling, Beru roaring, tank charging forward, Hunter Cha standing with calm courage beside him. Then the images fade, and the pond becomes still again. Hunter Cha watches his face. What did you see? Jin-Woo breathes out slowly. A long road. She nods. And now? He looks at the pond. Now, just water. The pond reflects the moon. Nothing more, nothing less. Hunter Cha smiles. That sounds peaceful. It is. They sit there for a while, beside the still water. No one speaks. There is no need. The silence is not empty. It is full of gentle things. A leaf drifting down, a breeze passing through silver moss, a distant murmur from tank dreaming under the tree, the barely audible hum of lanterns behind them, the feeling of the whole sanctuary breathing slowly, deeply, patiently. After some time, Jin-Woo reaches into the shadow at his side. Not to summon a weapon, not to call an army, but to draw out something small, a simple dark cloak folded neatly. He lays it over Hunter Cha's shoulders. She looks at him, surprised. You brought a blanket. I thought it might get cold. Her smile grows. The shadow monarch, prepared for chilly weather. He looks away slightly. It's practical. It's sweet. The word lingers in the air, soft as the moss. Jin-Woo does not answer, but the quiet around him warms. They remain beside the pond until the stars seem to drift lower. Then they rise and return along the silver path. When they reach the ancient tree again, the clearing has changed. The shadows are sleeping more deeply now. Some have leaned against one another without realizing it. A few of the smaller soldiers are curled beside Tank, tucked into the warmth of his enormous shadowy fur. Igris has finally lowered his head enough that he seems truly at rest. Beru is asleep beside a cushion he appears to have claimed as both pillow and respected rival. The lanterns have dimmed slightly, glowing now like embers in a blue hearth. Jin-Woo stops at the edge of the clearing. He had seen his army like this many times, but never like this. Gathered, still unburdened. Not waiting for war, not waiting for him to need them, just resting. Hunter Cha stands beside him. You gave them something good tonight, she says. Jin-Woo's eyes remain on the shadows. They gave me everything. And now they get to receive something back. The words settle quietly in him. Receive. That, too, is something he is learning. Strength is not only holding the world up. Sometimes strength is setting it down. Sometimes loyalty is not proven in battle, but in trust. Sometimes the safest thing a protector can do is close his eyes and believe, just for a night, that peace will hold. Jin-Woo walks back to the ancient tree. He sits in his place again. Hunter Cha settles nearby, wrapped in the dark cloak, her expression peaceful. The moonlight through the branches falls over them both. Jin-Woo looks toward you. "You're still safe," he says softly. The words are not dramatic. They do not need to be. You can let the day end now. The stream answers in silver whispers. You can let your thoughts slow down. A lantern drifts past. You can let your body become heavy. The flowers glow with your breath. You can rest here as long as you need. And the sanctuary agrees, the grass agrees, the trees agree, the shadows, sleeping all around you, agree. For a while, there is only breathing, your breath, Tank's breath. The soft, imagined breath of the valley, in and out, in and out. The air is cool as it enters, warm as it leaves. With each exhale, the glowing flowers brighten and fade, brighten and fade, brighten and fade, like tiny moons blooming in the grass. Jin-Woo leans back against the tree and closes his eyes. He does not sleep immediately. He listens first, not for danger, not for footsteps, but for peace. He listens to the quiet as if learning its shape. There is the stream to his left, the leaves above, the slow breathing of his companions, the soft rustle of Hunter Cha's cloak, the occasional sleepy mumble from Beru, the deep, steady rumble from Tank, the silent dignity of Igris resting beneath the moon, and beneath it all the sanctuary's gentle promise. Nothing is required of you tonight. Nothing is chasing you. Nothing has been forgotten that cannot wait until morning. You have done enough for today. You may rest. The words seem to move through the valley without being spoken. They settle over every shadow soldier, over every blade set aside, over every tired thought, over every part of you that has been trying to stay alert. Nothing is required of you tonight. A soft breeze passes through the clearing. The lanterns sway. The ancient tree releases a few pale blossoms, and they drift down slowly, slowly, slowly. One lands on Igris's shoulder. He does not wake. One lands on Tank's broad back. It rises and falls with his breathing. One lands near Beru, who murmurs, "Excellent flower, worthy." Then he is quiet again. One blossom drifts toward you. It does not fall quickly. It turns in the air, light as a dream. When it finally lands beside you, it gives off the faint scent of rain on warm stone, of clean sheets, of a window open to a safe night. The sanctuary grows softer. The edges of the trees blur slightly in the moonlight. The stream sounds farther away and closer at the same time. Hunter Cha's breathing becomes slow and even. Jin-Woo opens his eyes once more, only halfway. He looks across the clearing at his sleeping shadows, then at the sky, then at the quiet world protected by the peace they had fought so hard to create. For a long time, he had carried danger inside him like a second heartbeat, always ready, always watching, always standing between darkness and everyone he loved. But now, here in the hidden valley, he realizes something simple. Peace does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it does not announce itself. Sometimes it comes as a cool breeze, a sleeping bear by a stream, a knight finally letting go of his sword, a loyal shadow whispering nonsense into a pillow, a friend sitting beside you under an ancient tree, a listener resting beneath the moon. Jin-Woo lets out a quiet breath. The flowers glow, then fade, and for the first time in a long while, he does not count the threats beyond the trees. He counts the peaceful things nearby. One stream, 2 lanterns drifting low, 3 blossoms falling through moonlight, 4 slow breaths, 5 sleeping shadows beneath the tree, then more, and more, until counting becomes too gentle to continue. His eyes close. The sanctuary holds. The moon continues its patient path through the sky, and the shadows sleep. As the night deepens, dreams begin to move through the valley. Not sharp dreams, not memories of battle, but soft dreams made by the sanctuary itself. Igris dreams of a field after rain where no sword is needed and the only sound is wind moving through tall grass. Beru dreams of preparing a perfect resting chamber for his liege with exactly arranged pillows and flowers that respectfully glow on command. Tank dreams of a mountain stream, cold and clear, where fish made of silver light leap lazily beneath the stars. The smaller shadow soldiers dream of lanterns they can carry in their hands, each one glowing brighter when they feel calm. Hunter-Cha dreams of walking through a quiet city at dawn, where every window is lit with warmth and no one is afraid. And Jin-Woo dreams of home, not a place exactly, a feeling. A door closing softly, a familiar voice in another room, a warm meal, a quiet evening, the deep relief of knowing everyone is safe. In the dream there is no crown of shadow, no battlefield, no endless sky torn open by gates, only a small table, gentle light, and the people he loves nearby. He does not need to stand guard in the doorway. He sits down, that is the whole dream. He sits down, and the world remains safe. The sanctuary keeps breathing. The stream keeps flowing. The flowers keep glowing and fading with every exhale from every sleeper. And you too are part of this quiet rhythm. You do not need to follow every word now. You do not need to hold the story tightly. Let the words become like leaves on the stream, some close, some far away, some drifting past before you can read them. That is all right. The story will carry itself. The night will carry you. Somewhere in the clearing, Beru shifts in his sleep and gently pulls the cushion closer. Tank's paw twitches. A lantern lowers until it hovers just above the grass, bathing the ground in soft blue light. Igris's armor no longer looks hard beneath the moon. It looks like part of the night itself, still, protective, at peace. Jin-Woo remains asleep beneath the ancient tree, but even sleeping his presence is steady, not tense, not watchful, simply there, like a mountain in the distance, like a closed gate, like a hand resting gently over the world saying, "Enough, rest now." The moonlight grows milkier as the night moves on. The stars blur softly behind thin clouds. The valley does not become darker. It becomes gentler. Edges soften, sounds slow. Even the stream seems to murmur more quietly, as if it does not want to wake anyone. The sanctuary knows how to care for tired souls. It covers the shadows in warmth. It dims the lanterns when the sleepers settle. It sends breezes only when the air grows too still. It lifts blossoms from the branches and lets them fall where dreams need sweetness. It holds every resting body without judgment. Warrior, hunter, shadow, friend, listener, all are equal in sleep. All are welcome beneath the moon. After a while, a single shadow soldier wakes near the edge of the clearing. He is small compared to the others, with a round helmet and bright blue eyes. He sits up slowly, as if surprised to find that nothing has gone wrong while he slept. He looks around. No danger, no command, no alarm, only his companions resting. He sees Jin-Woo asleep beneath the tree. He sees Igris still and peaceful. He sees Beru curled around a cushion. He sees Tank surrounded by smaller shadows like cubs near a great bear. The little soldier turns toward the glowing flowers. He takes a careful breath in, then out. The flower brightens. He watches the glow fade. Then he lies back down. Now he understands. Rest is not a failure of duty. Rest is part of returning, part of healing, part of being ready for a morning that may ask nothing at all. The little soldier closes his eyes. The valley becomes still again. Near dawn, though the sun has not yet risen, the sky begins to change. The deepest blue softens at the horizon. The stars grow faint. The moon lowers toward the trees. But no one rushes. The sanctuary does not wake its guests suddenly. It lets them drift slowly upward, like leaves rising on warm water. Hunter Cha wakes first. Her eyes open gently. She does not move right away. She listens to the stream, feels the cloak around her shoulders, and looks at the sleeping shadows nearby. A smile touches her face. She turns toward Jin-Woo. He is still asleep. For once he looks completely unguarded. Not weak, never weak, but peaceful. There is a difference, a beautiful one. She lets him sleep. Igris wakes next. Though he does so without any sudden motion. He lifts his head, checks the clearing with quiet instinct, then remembers the order. Rest, so he does not stand. He simply sits a little more comfortably. Beru wakes with a tiny gasp and immediately looks toward Jin-Woo. Seeing his liege still asleep, Beru presses one claw to his own mouth, warning himself to be silent. Then he notices the cushion still in his arms. He slowly sets it down and pats it twice, as though thanking it for loyal service. Tank continues sleeping. No one is brave enough to wake him. The first golden thread of dawn slips over the trees. The lanterns begin to fade, not disappearing, just becoming less needed. The blue glow of night makes room for the soft pearl gray of morning. Jin-Woo opens his eyes. He does not sit up quickly. He wakes slowly, calmly, as if returning from far away with no need to hurry. Hunter Cha looks at him. Good morning. Jin-Woo blinks once. Then he looks around the clearing. The shadows are still resting. The sanctuary is unharmed. The world has not ended because he slept. He exhales. Good morning. Beru appears at his side immediately, though with admirable quiet. My liege, I am pleased to report that the night was peaceful. The cushions behaved with honor. The flowers performed gentle illumination. The pebbles remained non-threatening. Jin-Woo sits up. Good work, Beru. Beru bows deeply, glowing with pride. Igris rises and gives a silent bow, but there is something softer in the movement than before. Tank finally opens his eyes, lifts his head, and lets out a tremendous yawn that makes several lanterns bob in the air. The smaller shadows near him tumble gently aside, then gather themselves as if nothing happened. Hunter Cha laughs softly again. The morning continues to unfold. But this is not the kind of morning that pushes the night away. It is a gentle morning, a morning that says rest can remain inside you even after you rise. Jin-Woo stands and walks to the stream. He kneels, dips his hand into the cool water, and watches the ripples move outward. Each ripple catches the dawn. For a moment he remembers the still pond from the night before, a long road, and now just water. He lets the stream run over his fingers. Behind him, the shadow army begins to wake, not to orders, but to quiet wonder. They stretch. They look around. They touch the flowers. They watch the sky brighten. No one speaks loudly. No one rushes. The sanctuary has taught them something, and the lesson lingers. Jin-Woo turns back to them. You all did well. Beru straightens proudly. Igris bows. Tank snorts softly. Jin-Woo looks across the whole gathering. Not because you fought, not because you protected anything, because you rested. The shadows become still. You can return here whenever you need to remember how. The ancient tree rustles in the wind as if accepting the promise. The archway waits at the far edge of the valley, covered in vines and morning light. Soon they will leave. Soon the world will return with its sounds and roads and responsibilities. But not yet. There is still time for one more slow breath, one more glance at the stream, one more moment beneath the tree. And for you, there is no need to leave at all. You may stay here as long as sleep wants you to. You may remain beneath the ancient branches, wrapped in moonlight and morning softness, while Jin-Woo and the shadows walk quietly back through the archway. Before he goes, Jin-Woo turns once more. His dark eyes are calm. His voice is low and steady. This place will stay open for you. A breeze moves through the flowers. If the world feels loud, you can return here. The stream murmurs. If your thoughts feel heavy, you can set them down under this tree. The lanterns glow faintly, even in dawn. If you feel like you have to keep watch, remember that tonight someone else is watching over the night. Igris stands at the archway, dignified and silent. Beru bows with one hand over his heart, trying very hard not to be too dramatic. Tank waits beside them, huge and gentle. Hunter Cha smiles warmly. Jin-Woo gives one final nod. Rest well. Then they pass through the archway. One by one, the shadows follow. Not marching, not rushing, simply leaving as quietly as they arrived. The sanctuary remains, the ancient tree, the stream, the soft grass, the flowers that glow when you breathe, the cushion beneath your head, the blanket over your shoulders, the feeling of being protected, the feeling that nothing is required of you, the feeling that rest is not something you have to earn. It is something you are allowed to receive. The sky grows lighter, but the valley keeps a little of the moon. Just for you. A small silver glow beneath the leaves. A little blue light inside the flowers. A quiet shadow under the tree. Not frightening, not lonely, but peaceful. A reminder of Jin-Woo's promise. You are safe here. You can let go now. Let the story grow softer. Let the words become distant. Let the stream speak instead. Water over stone. Wind through leaves. Lanterns humming low. Flowers glowing, breath by breath. In and out, in and out. There is no gate tonight, no battle, no alarm, no need to be strong. The Shadow Monarch has closed the doors of the world. Igris has lowered his sword. Beru has trusted the cushions. Tank is dreaming by the stream. Hunter Cha is smiling beneath the trees. And you are resting in the moonlit sanctuary of shadows. Held by quiet, covered by peace, safe beneath the gentle sky. So breathe slowly. Let your body become heavy. Let your thoughts drift like blossoms on water. And sleep. Sleep while the stream carries the last of the day away. Sleep while the flowers glow softly with every breath. Sleep while the ancient tree watches over you. Sleep knowing that the night is kind. Sleep knowing that you have done enough. Sleep knowing that here, in this hidden valley beyond worry and noise, even shadows can rest. And so can you. After Jin-Woo and the others left the moonlit sanctuary, the quiet did not disappear. It followed them. It rested in the folds of Jin-Woo's dark coat, in the softened steps of Igris, in the calm glow around Tank's great shadowy form, and even in Beru, who was trying very hard not to announce how peaceful he felt. The sanctuary had given them something gentle. And now, as the night stretched toward its deepest hour, Jin-Woo led them to a hill above the sleeping city. The path was narrow and lined with tall grass. Each blade shimmered faintly with dew, catching the starlight like tiny mirrors. Far below, the city glowed with thousands of warm lights. Windows shone like fireflies. Roads curved softly between buildings. Everything looked smaller from up here, quieter, as if the whole world had finally decided to rest. Jin-Woo sat near a small campfire at the top of the hill. Hae-In sat beside him, wrapping her arms loosely around her knees as she looked out over the skyline. Tank settled on the left side of the clearing, his enormous body curled like a mountain of shadow and blue flame. His head rested on his paws, and every slow breath made the grass around him sway. Igris stood beside Hae-In for a moment, tall and silent in his dark armor. His red plume moved gently in the breeze. He seemed ready to stand guard, as always. Jin-Woo glanced up at him. Igris. The knight turned. You can sit. For a brief second, Igris remained still. Then, with quiet dignity, he lowered himself onto the grass beside Hae-In. He placed his sword across his lap, not as a weapon, but as something familiar to rest his hands upon. Hae-In smiled softly. That's better, she said. Igris bowed his head as if accepting her approval with great seriousness. On the other side of the fire, Beru crouched with intense focus, carefully placing small sticks into the flames one at a time. My liege, he whispered, though his whisper still carried through the whole clearing. I have studied the fire. It appears calm. It consumes the wood slowly and produces warmth. I believe it is suitable. Jin-Woo looked at him. It's just a campfire, Beru. Beru nodded. A humble but loyal campfire. Hae-In laughed quietly, and even Jin-Woo's expression softened. Above them, the sky was wide and deep. Stars spread across it in great silver rivers. The Milky Way arched overhead like a bridge made of dust and dreams. No gates broke the sky. No red warning lights appeared. No monsters stepped from the darkness. Only stars. Only the small crackle of fire. Only the peaceful breathing of friends who had finally stopped running toward danger. Jin-Woo looked down at the city. So many people sleeping, he said softly. Hae-In followed his gaze. They probably don't know how much you've done for them. That's fine. You don't want them to know? Jin-Woo was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I want them to be able to sleep without needing to know. The words settled gently around the fire. Hae-In looked at him, her eyes warm in the orange glow. That sounds like you. Jin-Woo leaned back on his hands and looked up at the stars. For once, he did not count threats in the dark. He counted peaceful things. The fire, the grass, the city lights. Tank's slow breathing. Igris sitting instead of standing. Beru trying not to overmanage the flames. Hae-In beside him. And you, resting nearby, invited into the stillness of the hilltop. There was a place for you there too, close enough to feel the fire's warmth, far enough to see the whole sky. A soft blanket waited on the grass, folded neatly as if the sanctuary itself had sent it along. When you settled beneath it, the breeze became gentle around you. Jin-Woo's voice was calm. You're safe here too. The city below shimmered. The stars above listened. There's nothing you need to do right now, he continued. You don't have to hold the day together. You don't have to finish every thought. You don't have to stay alert. The campfire snapped softly, sending a tiny ribbon of sparks upward. They rose into the night, glowing for a moment before disappearing among the stars. Beru watched them carefully. Tiny flames attempting ascension, he murmured. Jin-Woo closed his eyes. Let them ascend quietly. Yes, my liege. Tank gave a deep, sleepy rumble. The sound rolled through the hill like distant thunder, but softer, warmer, almost like a lullaby. The great bear shifted once, then rested again. The blue light along his fur dimmed and brightened with his breath. In, out, in, out. Igris slowly lowered his head. Hae-In's shoulders relaxed. Beru folded his claws and finally sat still. And Jin-Woo, the shadow monarch, the one who had carried so many battles within him, allowed the quiet to gather around his heart. Below, the city slept. Above, the stars kept watch. And on the hill between earth and sky, no one needed to be strong. Not tonight. Tonight, the shadows were not an army. They were companions by a fire. Tonight, the hunters were not preparing for danger. They were resting beneath the Milky Way, and you were there with them, wrapped in warmth, listening to the soft crackle of the campfire and the slow breathing of Tank beside the grass. The night grew deeper. The fire burned lower. The stars remained. Jin-Woo opened his eyes one last time and looked toward you. Rest now, he said gently. We'll keep the watch. And this time, there was no reason to doubt him. So you let your thoughts drift down toward the sleeping city. You let the warmth of the fire soften your body. You let the stars become distant and blurry. And little by little, breath by breath, you allowed yourself to sink into the peaceful quiet of the hilltop. where the world was safe, the shadows were calm, and sleep waited with open arms.